It's a fine time to watch Apostate Coalition A channel where ex-fundies come to discuss their former and current beliefs. And tonight on The Worldly Perspective, we're taking it all off and jumping in because the water is fine. Last week, we wet our whistle on the topic of baptism, and because of the hyper-focus, or should I say hypo-focus, on the subject of fundamentalists, we're going to dive even deeper tonight. Aren't we, Dr. T?
I see no reason not to be perfectly honest. Welcome, everybody. We talked about baptism last time. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. So we had more to say on the subject. As you recall, our glorious and wonderful Ryan, who helps make the show possible, and show. God damn it! What are you going by now? Alpha Sub. Sorry. Alpha Sub. Our names aren't on there, and this is very helpful. This is a very helpful thing.
That's true. That was helpful.
I am Dr. Time Waster. And we all talked about baptism, but Tyler Rickshaw was not able to join us due to some bad infrastructure of the United States. So
don't say that. How dare you?
And
don't you speak ill of Texas.
Climate change plus poor infrastructure. You were not able to join us, but you're here now, and so we wanted to continue with the topic.
He's back and better than ever. Welcome, Tyler. We missed you.
We did.
Yeah,
we ran amok without you.
We did.
I know. I watched from
the
shadows, all that sin.
All that sin. You had some battery power on your phone.
Just enough to watch us sinners.
Yes.
Well, we had a lot of talking about the Jehovah's Witness perspective on baptism. Couldn't get any perspective on baptism outside.
Give me 1 second. I gotta let this cat out. It's going crazy.
You go take care of that pussy.
Yep.
We are going to continue to talk about baptism. So yeah, you're right. We did talk about I shared maybe a little too much about my personal experience. And I know Alpha Sub, you didn't get baptized, correct?
Correct.
And so
still proud of that.
Me too. I'm really proud for you.
Me too. I am. You should be very proud of that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I wish I would have avoided.
Raise your hand if you regret it.
Big regrets. Big regrets.
Yep.
Is there an unbaptism we could do?
I regret getting baptized.
You do also regret.
No,
you don't.
Wait, did somebody mention earlier there was a poll about unbaptism?
Yeah, there's a poll in the chat.
Hopefully, people have filled it out.
I want to know what the results of that poll is. I can't look at my phone. Somebody's going to tell it to me.
So far, we only have 5 votes. Come on, guys. We need you to.
And what's the question? What's the question of the poll?
Is there such a thing as an unbaptism?
And this is a good point too, Jay. I think we should come back to that. Well, because people want to take onus of things, and some people have written letters to get their names removed from a registry or whatnot when it comes to their former religion. So is there a process, just like in, let's say, witchcraft, people do like spells to untie their souls? They want to reverse any connection you had. You might energetically feel you want to disconnect somehow from that religion. It's just a question.
Does a bond be broken?
Right. I'd love to know the answer to that.
Well, what is baptism? Because I feel like people can't always agree on what that is.
Real quick, I was going to say on the unbaptism.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I think it's going to depend on what obviously your religious belief has changed. It's going to depend on what your religious belief changed to. Just as an atheist, I don't think there's going to be any sort of such thing as an unbaptism, if you have no other religious belief. But I was trying to think of, has anybody seen the show Vikings?
Yeah,
History Channel show?
I've seen it. Like, I've not really paid attention to it, but I've watched it.
The monk that they abduct in the first season, I forgot his
Spoiler.
name because it's very early. I forgot his name because it's been a while since I've
You
seen
weren't
it.
gonna watch it anyway.
But I feel like that he went. I feel like he did something to renounce his Christian faith to the Norse pagan gods, but I can't remember what it was, other than doing mushrooms. Doing mushrooms will unbaptize you. That's the answer.
But a renouncement, right? That a renouncement of some sort, you could consider it.
Right.
I mean, if it's
he
a
would
public
have some sort of announcement.
symbolic thing, then maybe another public symbolic thing to undo
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all got that plan of salvation?
Well, Dan D suggests that we collect baptisms like Pokemon. You can't be too safe. Occam's razor and everything, right? Is that the one? Which
Or
is the one?
Pascal's wager.
Is it Pascal's wager?
Yeah,
Okay.
a true Pascal's wager is you better be like Benny in The Mummy, where he's got every religion ready to go. Like, you better be baptized in every religion.
I forget about that guy.
In case.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, just to be certain.
Benny and the Mummy. We need some. Let's hire somebody like I forget his name off Joe Rogan Experience to just bring stuff up on the computer for us whenever we want.
Oh, you want like a womp womp Benny coming up on the
Yep.
on the screen. It's funny.
Can you pull up the picture of?
We can
Benny on
edit
the
that
screen?
later.
Sure. I'm sure one of us will do that
Right.
later.
Yeah, no, it's I hear what you're saying though.
I'll
Yeah,
do it.
but
You
no,
guys can pay
Pascal's
me.
wager. Sorry. But baptism, I guess, going back to that, you got to get baptized in every religion for Pascal's wager. But
Well, what you asked didn't you ask the question, what does baptism signify? And we didn't
yeah, like,
really-
what does it mean? It
what
means,
does it
I
mean?
feel like it means something different to people, but also, I mean, Christians don't agree on what baptism is. No. Christians don't seem to agree on how properly to baptize, when to baptize, who should have the choice in baptism. Like, I feel like they don't really agree on it. So if you're not really familiar with it, it could be very confusing, I suppose.
Yeah. There's not a univocal voice on it. And also, when you think of the examples, like if you wanted to take the examples from the Bible of when people got baptized, there's a range of age and times and influences. And so you really would just truly be making it up for yourself and what feels right to you. Because otherwise you would just duplicate what you saw in the Bible. Like for Jesus' example, in my opinion, you would just do it at a time when you felt transformed, because you're supposed to feel it. Like, I don't understand the significance of doing it for a baby, because they've missed the whole initial reason it was created, to show the significance of the transformation into this new life of sorts. In my opinion, again, everyone else is up to them.
That baby is a sinner.
And I think that's why they do it for babies, right? To wash away their sins. But that, I never have pulled that perspective from.
They ain't really. I know they don't really necessarily. Like, I know in like the Baptist churches I go in, they never baptize a baby. They always do like a dedication type thing where you just kind of just dedicate.
You're promising.
Yeah. I promise I'm gonna get this one baptized. And that's pretty much all I've seen. Then usually pure pressure, you got the 5-year-old. Yeah, I'm ready to get baptized at 5. No, you're not.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. And that's another level of determination that you have to make for yourself. Am I prepared for what baptism means in this religion that I'm in? Because it might
this
mean something.
context.
Yeah, because it might mean something to you, but a completely different perspective from the horde.
Not even just
group.
not even just what religion you're in, but also what family you're in. Like your entire social context goes into it, because a lot of religions, baptism is not going to mean the same thing from person to person inside the congregation.
Do you?
Some of them is going to be more important to them
And
than
that's
others.
part of the and that's
And I
part
know,
of the problem, because
and
you're
they
being
got, and
judged
they
though
all,
by the whole, even though
and
it's
they also have they got unlimited baptisms. They can,
like
you can
some
all,
people do more than just one.
yeah, you can always get one. Well, you can.
But does it cost? Is there a price for it? It's
No,
just free?
So what's the
you can
difference
always.
between
You
getting
But are
baptized
people
and
more
taking a bath?
inclined to give though? But are people more? Is it one of those Jehovah's Witness things where you don't have to contribute,
No.
but if you don't, like, God's looking at you funny?
It's that varies from church to church, but the ones you can spot them out, but it's not like it's not like, because they're not like usually it's a person. It's not an organization that's corrupt. Like it's usually like, oh, it's that one pastor at that church that's just taking all its members' money. So it's not like it's not like a network of pastors getting together, and that's the all overall arching theme is to do that. And I think that's why it's a little bit different, because everything is more based off on the individual church itself, not a global network of churches. Because y'all have like
It's not
Jehovah.
as organized as people would like to
Yeah,
make it
everything is.
appear.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not.
so.
The Bible isn't univocal, nor is, even like you're saying, from church to church, it can be different.
Yeah,
From denomination, different.
From
different.
person to
Just it
person
could be. It could be the same.
in the pews.
It could be a Baptist church here. It could be a Baptist church here. They can have the same type of Baptist church name, and they can be totally different from each other.
And then people have guest preachers come all the time, and then
Yeah.
later say, I actually don't agree with what
Yeah.
guest said.
So I feel like if you were to call that out, like even within a particular religion, like say Baptists or like whatever, and they're not doing it exactly the same, because Jehovah's Witnesses, I think, have a policies and procedures on how to do, and I think it's pretty much the same, at least in spirit, for what matters. But like the Catholic Church also seems to have a pretty structured, like it's probably the same and more or less in every Catholic religion. And then you're saying, like, oh, from even one Baptist church to another Baptist church, they might be totally different in how they do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I just think it's interesting that some people can take a look at that and say, it's the symbolism of it. It's the spirit of it. Don't get too nitpicky about it. God will understand. And then there's a whole nother group that goes, wait, shoot, this one priest in this one church kept saying, I baptize you instead of we baptize you. And now every baptism he ever did has been negated per law of the letter of the word in Catholicism. Do you guys remember when that happened? Like some priest in Catholic Church said the words wrong for years. And so they were like, shit, now all those people you baptized aren't really baptized.
Oh my God. That is just.
Oh no.
That's just being pedantic. Like, come on. That's
my point.
Really?
Some people are so like.
You're right. Yeah. No.
Literal.
I wish we had a Mormon here to talk about Mormon baptism, because I know that they have some weird baptism practices, such as baptizing dead people.
Oh yes, I've heard of this. Mhm.
Oh, wait, you said Mormons?
Yeah,
They
they
get baptized in the name of dead people, right?
yeah. So like new
Yes.
Mormons or Mormons that are like
They used to do it
fresh.
for Jewish people.
Yeah, like they did to Anne
How
Frank.
freaking
Like they
Like, we're gonna
baptized Anne
disrespectful.
Frank.
baptize you against your will
Yeah,
Right,
for
like
your
after you're
own
dead.
good.
like, oh my gosh, that
And
is so
so they get
disgusting.
like a Mormon that has like freshly gone through the temple for the first time. This is something Mormons do when they're like 18 or something, around that age. So once I've been there like a year, they'll be like, "All right, today's your day to be baptized for dead people," and they'll just read off a name and baptize this kid for like 100 times, from what I've been told, in a
That's
row for like
weird.
a list of like 100 dead people.
That sounds terrible.
Right. Yep.
Now, do you guys remember
Yeah.
that the Jehovah's Witnesses
Yes.
had a policy where you had to go back under
Yes,
if something popped out, anything popped out?
I do.
Didn't
Yes, if
count.
you were not fully and completely submerged for at least,
Thank
I
you,
don't know,
Jill.
a millisecond. I don't know what the rule is. Like, how do they time it? How many seconds do you have to be get down there? You know.
I don't know. I think it's
Yes,
just
if you're
like
not
a count or
perfectly
two.
submerged, your whole body at one time, it didn't count. Your
Mhm.
arm was sticking out, your pinky was sticking out, and your pinky didn't go under, but all the rest of you
Yeah,
did.
like your elbow might
That's
float up, your toe floats up. Yeah.
It's gotta be 10 minutes.
You ain't coming back up, baby.
Yes, I do recall that. I'm sure it's still, but that's why I said policies and procedures. They've just picked an arbitrary thing that says this sounds right. Let's make sure. We don't want to accidentally not get people into heaven. So keeping them underwater, completely submerged with somebody technically kind of holding them down, for a certain amount of seconds sounds reasonable to God.
Yeah.
And now that's the policy that goes out to all the elders. It's corporate policy enactment.
We used to.
With no
We should
real
look-
footing
Oh,
in any scripture.
What, Tyler?
Okay.
How did he's mumbling? He's
Here
trying
to take it on topic here. I used to, you do the communion. If you wasn't baptized, you couldn't like partake in none of that. My
In
mom,
any community, or
Hmm?
you said what community would
It's a
do this?
communion, right?
communion.
Oh, communion. I'm sorry.
You couldn't, like,
my
if you're
bad.
not baptized, you didn't do
You can't take the
communion.
communion if you're
Yeah.
not baptized.
Yeah, nah.
Gotcha.
But I used to do it because my mom used to let me.
Here you go, kid. Have at it.
And everybody else would keep telling her to not let her do it. Tell her no, and she would just still let me do
He's
it.
like, it's a tasteless cracker. He wants one.
No. And then
I've checked. You can get a whole box of them things for like $20 on Amazon.
So I never got baptized until I got captured. Well,
Captured?
Captured.
Whoa.
The crusades are still happening.
No, it was
Kidnapped?
it was a lady. She would drive around in the truck
Oh my god.
during
She have candy?
summertime. And if
lady.
if she just grab up any kid she see and you come in this vacation Bible school.
Did her vehicle play music?
No, it's just a black truck. It was all like everybody knew her. Like
She was kidnapping children for the Lord.
Yeah, you should take us
As long
down
as it's for the
to
Lord, it's okay.
and one time we got caught, and then we ended up going to vacation Bible school. I don't think it went like maybe 2-3 days or something like that, but it was.
I mean, like, did she say anything to your mom?
No.
Did they know? They're like,
No.
Where's Tyler? Huh, he hasn't been home all day. Oh, it's all
No.
right. He's probably with the lady with the truck.
The lady with the truck.
No, I'm not.
What's her name? I don't know. We just call her.
Come on, man. I lived in a very small town. I mean, it wasn't like it was small. Like I believe that it was free range to move and roam. Like I'll be everywhere. We'd be way off.
Everybody know everybody.
Yeah, everybody knows everybody.
Okay.
It wasn't like I was taken to a strange place. I was just down the road. I was just down the road. Like I could, like if I needed to get out, I could have ran all the way home. Like I was. It wasn't like she was taking me off to a different place.
So you're saying you didn't run home, therefore you consented to baptism?
No, I didn't. No. When I got there, when me and my friend got there, it was cool. And then when they found out that we wasn't baptized, they started. Man, they got so weird. They got super nice. They started crowding around us. Come on, y'all want some more to eat? They was trying to pressure us to get baptized, and it didn't work with me. I would get let out when she take us back, start back off in the neighborhood. I just go into the house, and then that'd just be it. So yeah, that lady took me to the church down the street.
Did she actually succeed at getting you baptized?
No, she didn't, because I just stopped. I didn't have to go.
Oh, I thought you told me you did get baptized.
It's coming there. You rushing the narrative.
He's trying to tell a story.
You rushing the narrative.
Gosh. There.
So I just come home and I told her, I said, yeah, this lady took us up to the church and stuff like that, and that was it. And I just went back to my room, and that was it. And then I never had to continue going because nobody in the house went to church, so nobody cared. I only got caught because I was out in the neighborhood, and then I just didn't leave the house. I said, okay, I'm not going outside the door. I'm not going back over there, and I didn't have to go. Now, how I got baptized was.
God damn it, you made me listen to that whole story. It wasn't even your baptism story. Boo!
I wish there was something strong in this cup.
Now, how I got baptized was
what had happened?
Me and my friend, during the summertime, me and my friend I used to spend like 2-3 weeks in my house. I spent 2-3 weeks at his house. And it would just happen to be my 2 or 3 weeks at his house. And they went to church, like it was on their church tip. They ain't always go, but it was on their church moment in time. So I was going to church with them, and then when I was over there, and it was like, then it was just so much pressure. The pressure was on up in there, and I crumbled.
So you did feel pressured to get baptized?
Yeah, I crumbled. You know, and it was just like, this is like, okay, I guess. But it wasn't like I was.
They were doing it, and you felt you wanted to be like them, or they were like verbally kind of putting you under pressure.
No, it wasn't. It was pressure, but also it was me more thinking like, okay. This is what we supposed to do, right? That's like how, because everybody I know is doing this, even though it felt weird. It was like okay, because I didn't. So I went there eventually, and they had like this plan of salvation thing. I don't know if I do the plan of salvation. You got to walk up in front of the church and do the plan of salvation thing. No.
I mean,
that was the most nervous.
Sounds like what Dan D's saying here, where do you have to, like, J-Dubs used to make you go through like a class, or it was a book you had to read, and you had to like prove that you knew enough about the Bible.
No,
I failed the first time.
It was a privilege you had to fight for.
No. It ain't no. It's no effort to get this baptism. You just get baptized.
Done.
You get back. You can get baptized, and it's so I thought like I had the most nerve-wracking part was having to stand up there and say why you want to get baptized, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking like I don't really have nothing to say, and then when I get up there, and then they're telling me the things to say, And I'm like, oh, I was just supposed to repeat you? And so I'm just repeating what they were saying. And they said, all right. And everybody's like, yeah, we're going to get baptized and stuff like that. Oh, that's
Did he freeze? Oh, there he goes.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have froze. Are you talking
No,
about?
that was me.
No, he froze. Tyler
Froze
froze
for a
for
moment.
just a second.
No, I mean, yeah, baptized. So I went to the baptism, and I just remember getting in that water. I was like, oh, okay. What we do?
This is what we're doing here.
Then
Pool
he
with
just,
a lake. What was it?
there was
Like
a little pool in the back of the pool pit.
the pool pit? That sounds terrifying. What is that? What
It's
is
just
the
it's
pool
a
pit?
pool like behind the the podium, and then behind it usually is the where the pool at right
Like
back
a
there.
like a above ground pool?
Yeah, it's like a little
Okay,
above ground.
okay. You say pool pit, and my brain went
Oh.
terrifying places.
And then
I've seen churches have
Throw him in the pit.
like behind the podium on stage. They'll like if it's like a 2-story church, they'll have like above, like where the podium would be behind it, on like the next story up, like a bath, like doors open up and reveal the bath that they baptize people, and people will walk up the steps and get baptized like above the preacher and behind him. I've seen multiple churches designed that way.
I've seen so many different. And the J Dubs have done it several different ways as well. I've seen theirs. So
So I just remembered a
oh,
question
okay.
beforehand that I asked. What?
Don't mind me.
He's
I'm-
just sad that the
Don't mind
conversation.
me, I
We're
don't
a
get to
group of
finish my-
ADHD people, and we're not hyper focused on his
Oh.
needs.
I introvert.
Yeah.
I
I'm
got
looking
something very easy.
I was right at the end just to wrap it up.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
And so they dunked me in that water, and I came back up, and I was like, now I'm wet. And that's all I can think about. Like, what is this? What are we doing? And then
is water
after
wet?
that, I gave.
Oh, you mean from the water?
They gave me. Y'all need to get baptized.
Yeah, you can tell I haven't been baptized. Huh?
Y'all need to be baptized. I can tell. But
Mine
so
wore
they
off.
gave me
Been
they
there,
gave me
done
a, they gave me a,
that.
they gave me a certificate. They gave me a certificate of baptism. Gave me the right hand of fellowship. And then I walked out that church, and I didn't even go back to church again after that. I just went home. I left my friend's house, and I went back home, and I said, "Hey, I got baptized. And here's this thing they gave me." And then I went to my room.
So wait. So you got baptized and to never return?
Yeah, I didn't go back. I
Wait,
didn't have to.
he was coerced and embarrassed to say no. Like, you're put in a position that you can't really say no. But he handled it the best possible way, which is, I'm going to nothingness from here on out.
It's almost like you had sex and had regret.
Really,
You ghosted the person because you were like, "Oh,
that was the worst sex ever. It never happened.
It never happened.
I went home. And we didn't go to church.
Good.
And
that happened.
Yep.
Whatever. Some people told me that it would be a good thing if this guy dunked me underwater, and then they gave me a certificate, and I went home.
Yeah, because I went. Yeah, that summed it up. And then that was, it works. It works in my favor. It works in my favor now, because when people ask me, I can tell them the truth. That's how I stay undercover, because I'm telling the truth.
Undercover.
Yeah, I'm the most undercover there ever is.
The most undercover.
I've I haven't managed. I didn't even know, man. It's crazy.
All right, well,
I
I'm not
didn't even
telling you
know.
about all my drug trafficking secrets. Keeping it the most undercover there is.
Undercover.
No, I don't know, man. It was crazy, man. Stuff was crazy, but it wasn't like Jehovah Witness though.
Do you think you maybe would have been a little more traumatized if you had been coerced into being Jehovah's Witness baptized?
Oh,
but
yeah.
then
He would
again,
not have been in his room. He'd have
but
been
then
at
again
the
though,
hall.
dog, I'm only seeing the Baptist from a vague participant, you know.
I mean,
Well, I did spend the last,
good thing.
yeah, I did spend the last decade or so in one, so I can solve their problems and I can solve the problems.
The Jehovah's Witnesses are an MLM of
Yes.
religions, and
are.
everything that they do is a way to either get your money or your time. And the process of even getting baptized, you are not only sort of peer pressured into it, because I definitely only did it because other people my age were doing it. And oh, so and so got baptized. Did you hear about so and so? They got baptized. And your parents would say these words to you.
Same thing.
And
They would do that too.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, and my own dad was like, oh, this is something you should be doing. Like, we didn't have the college talk. We didn't have the sex talk. We didn't have like any kind of like preparation. I didn't have the here's how to do your taxes talk. Like, nothing useful in life. It was the baptism talk. You should be looking at that. And then once I did that, then it was, oh yeah, get married. But
I
don't
was
date
lucky
anyone.
because y'all had a whole. It was like the community and also your home life was like telling that too.
It was all intertwined.
It was never
Like
off.
for me, it was never. It was not a single ounce of religious pressure from my grandmother and my mother. And it was
Right.
no pressure about it coming from them. So I would go home.
Right. And like even with like other time consuming things like work, I can turn my computer off and not work. Right? You have like control in that situation. But when you're a kid and you're raised with parents who are Jehovah's Witnesses, there's never an off time. It's always on. You don't get to just okay, well, we're going to be Jehovah's Witnesses at the Kingdom Hall. Some people do. Some lucky people do. Other people, their parents are on all the time. And so it's pressure to get baptized, pressure to do this, pressure to be a publisher, pressure to be, pressure to spend all your time and or money devoted to this thing. And that is it. Like Jay mentioned it earlier, or Dan mentioned it earlier about the process to get baptized is 3 different meetings with 3 different elders to show that you've gone through the book that they published through the Jehovah's Witness organization, that says that if you can do this set of things, you can get baptized. And so it's like this thing that every kid is desired to desired to do. And it's so much work. It's so much work. And as soon as I did it, I was like, what the fuck I'm doing?
There was a church like a couple years back when the wife was still bouncing kind of in between church and whatnot, and she had to when she went to visit and she was gonna join, but they said you got to come to Sunday school for like I think like 7 weeks or something like that. And he said, "See, nah, never mind. No, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna come up in here. Oh no, you got too many rules." And it's like we don't do that.
That's the problem when people are taught to police others. It'd be different if it was just about, they make it about congregating. They say that, it's about congregating, but I feel like
Lying.
it's more just about policing people's behavior to make sure everybody's acting like the
Yeah, it's
board.
this mega church. I see her commercials sometime. That's from down the street from here. They have the commercials sometimes here, and it's always something like we're like a family. We just get together, and I'm just sitting there thinking, no, y'all not.
Right.
Stop
Who's
lying.
faking it? How
It's
real are you with each other?
because the downfall of those churches are mega churches, because mega churches are destroying communities because they're pulling people away from local churches that do things inside of a community, but they don't have
Right.
the member base because everybody wants to go to the mega church, and the mega church isn't in your area or your neighborhood or nothing. It's sucking all the money out of everything.
It's like your
So,
local farmers market versus Walmart for your
yeah,
produce.
Exactly.
Like,
it's sucking. I
One
mean,
hu- that is a great analogy.
it's sucking every. It's sucking every. Those churches are sucking every ounce of.
Life
It
of
just,
spirit
there's no, there's
out
no,
of
there's
the
no, there's
city.
no reason to even go to like a basketball stadium.
This is
What
such
to
a
do?
good
What?
point. This is such
Like
a
what?
great point, Tyler. I really never thought about it that way. And I poo-poo churches because I don't think churches do the things that they really should be doing. But I feel there are a lot that do community outreach, even though it's usually under the guise of, something with Jesus or whatever. But they do it. But when you start putting your money, your tithes, etc., into these larger churches who are really just ways allegedly to funnel money, in my opinion, and wash money allegedly, in my opinion, you start to, just like as Dr. Time Waster said, these farmers markets get put out of business by places like Acme. um it's very similar, and I hadn't thought of it on the spiritual level, the ways it also like sanitizes a community.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for
Now
that
we
point.
now we just you know.
it bummed me out.
I mean, but yeah, man, local churches. I those are I defend like small local churches because it's like, oh yeah, I see what y'all trying to do, but boy, the people y'all need are elsewhere. They're elsewhere, and they not come here, and then also it's like they ain't moving with the time, so ain't nobody. Well, ain't nobody. It's there's no point in even like the mega church aspect takes it to a level of just like it's just useless at that point. You got a 1,500 room mega room. It's
It's
useless.
it's a disgusting display
It's
of money,
useless.
and it's useless. It's all just to
Useless.
fluff their ego. It's a dick throwing competition, in my opinion. A lot of this is just throwing their dick around.
So, like, y'all ready to take the plan of salvation? Y'all ready to get baptized?
I was
Mm.
thinking that the biggest thing that we kind of lose as we lose religion is community. I feel like now that you said all that, man, religion, especially Christianity in America, that's really, really it. Christianity in America seems to have, at least partially, um, a very large part, robbed us of actual community because
Mm.
everybody's split into all these different denominations, and it's all based on what brand of Christian are you, which divides everybody and completely leaves out people that aren't Christians. And now there's just no community. It's just small groups and individuals. And I think that's what we really need to.
I mean, that's the best part about
You
church.
froze.
I think you froze. That's the best. I just took the opportunity to cut in. Like, that's the best part about churches is when they have small communities. People can get together. People do things together, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, as a person who identifies
No,
as
of course.
atheism, that is my favorite part about any religion is the
Yeah.
fact that when people come together, of course they're
Oh,
good
it's-
people.
It ties into other things too, in terms of just community in general. It may not be as what it used to be for some people in terms of how the church isn't. Church has become the community, not a piece of the community.
Right.
Even like,
The church for me,
Instagram is a community.
like church growing up wasn't I didn't grow up in the community of church. The church wasn't our lives didn't involve, even the people around me who went to church, you don't hear about it. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's watching to make sure you're a good Christian. If you're following, nobody's checking for what you're doing. Because a lot of it, what plays into when you get into the little small churches, is that what is also preached inside of that is, it sounds like I'm preaching, but I'm not preaching, but it's preached inside of that. You can't judge anybody else but yourself. So it's not like inside the back. You're not preached to pick at the other people's sins, even though people still do it because people are people, but it's not ingrained in it. So So me growing up, I didn't hear much of nobody's. I would hear it, but then it just go on. It was like it wasn't. Oh, okay. Most days wasn't talking about church. Like everybody in the town. Some people go to church. Some people didn't go to church. The whole community, everybody was just whatever. And then this is what happens. But they all believe still. Well, yeah, I see them on Facebook believing. Like, oh, I thought we was expanding our minds. Y'all tricked me. I thought everybody was doing this.
Should I get baptized again?
That
You
makes
mean
me
like
wanna
somebody
cry.
who converts?
Like I am a faithful Jehovah's Witness, and should I do it again? That was the first thing that popped into my head. I'm so righteous. Should I do it twice?
Or is
I
it people
wonder
that
if
were like,
that would be something that comes again, because like, what if for me, say for
We get
instance,
3
somebody who is
baptisms?
somebody who is disfellowshipped, would that be something they offer again? Like, do you want to re-up? Do you want to
I was
recommit?
thinking it was like from the perspective of somebody that had been baptized as like a Baptist or some other religion, and as
Yeah,
like,
that's
should
what
I
I
get?
think it is, a convert. But
Yeah,
You want to join our church? You gotta get. They're gonna ask you. You can lie. You know that, right?
Anyone can lie.
Like you can walk to. They say,
What's
"Have you been
that?
baptized?"
What's a
You can
lie?
say,
what's a lie?
they're gonna ask you, "Have you accepted Jesus Christ?" You can look them straight in the eye like I did and say, "Yes."
I can't lie. I'm like George
It
Washington.
ain't that hard. It's not that hard when you don't think.
That's a lie.
When you're trying to survive, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I was
don't
like,
lie.
okay.
I don't lie.
I said, maybe I'm tripping. You know, I'm the odd one out here. Everybody else is. I said, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just gonna see what this takes me, and just. Oh, unfortunately, it didn't really work. All that Christian music I used to listen to, unbeknownst to me.
Even the Christian music, you were into it.
I didn't even pay no attention. I was like, yeah, I was singing all them songs. I was like, yeah, I was love me some gospel music. I'll play some gospel music.
I just remembered before the show, I asked a question. I think it was, when did baptism start?
Oh yeah.
1992.
They were so tired.
Strange. That's the year I was born. Was I the first one to get baptized?
Yep.
Am I the Messiah?
Yep.
I mean, aren't you baptized in the womb?
Yes, in that fluid. Yeah.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
was the first baptism?
Is that what
I
the water
think
is supposed to represent? The fluid that you're in and your mother?
Oh, we can
You're
go back to symbolism for
I mean,
sure.
we can
But
absolutely
let's
we
go
could
back to
talk about
the
we could
let's
talk
just
about
start with when it started.
I think I haven't 100% researched it, but I believe that it started sometime, I would say around like Gnostic, but and I feel like
For
that's kind
people
of
who don't care about Bible, what's Gnostic?
I think Gnostic just means like knowledge. Gnosis just it's the Greek word for gnosis, so it just means the search for knowledge. Knowledge. So I think it was like a combination of like Hellenistic thought, like all the great minds of the time. It's just like all these are just streams of thought that somebody like embellished. It's all opinion on
Gotcha.
opinion.
Sorry, I
So
thought you were referring to something in the Bible. I was like, don't care. What's that?
no, but so basically these were like the precursor, let's say Gnostics were the precursor to I think like Christians.
Okay, I gotcha.
So I think
In
it
between
started,
Judaism and Christianity.
yeah, and around that time, yeah, like it was even Jewish mysticism in there. It was a mix of a lot of different cultures as it was, Hellenization and whatnot. So probably I don't even want I'm probably lying, but let's just say probably like BCE
So what
sometime
is
before.
the Bible lore around when baptism started?
John the Baptist is the one who started it.
Per
Not
the
started it,
Bible?
but was exemplary in baptism, known as the John the Baptizer. So it was like a title, the Baptizer. So he's like the guy who
He
can
was the baptizer, you say.
the Baptizer coming to wet you up.
So what I'm hearing is this guy that likes to just dunk people in water decided to get out of being criminalized and said it was his religious right. Is that so before Jesus was ever even born, baptism was a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
Because people used to like pride, and this is where I get confused, is people are always like, Jesus was 30 when he was baptized or something like that, right?
Yes.
And it was like everybody was so proud of that. And then everyone pushed children to get baptized. In fact, I think if we were to take a look at the data, the number of people who got baptized, I would say not even, let's just say under 20, is probably significantly higher than between 20 and 30, and definitely higher than anyone over 30. And yet, I remember people just saying how great Jesus was that he didn't, that he waited until he was 30. And then that's the opposite of what I was told to do.
Yeah, see, I got like all of
Seems kind of hypocritical. Or
I didn't get I didn't get no any church I ever been into. I ain't get nothing like.
You didn't know how old Jesus was when he got baptized?
Man, I didn't know nothing. It was just,
there was no education, is what you're saying. There was no
you just kind
education.
of just sitting there. You just kind of just sitting in there like this, and he come out. They do the show. The show starts. Dun, 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 dun,
You calling it a
dun,
show?
dun, dun, and they do all the things you do.
They do like a music number before they dunk the people down?
Yeah, two, three music numbers. And I was like, yeah. Get you riled up. And then come out with fiery little preaching. Then you wrap it up.
This
And
sounds exciting.
Like,
you get to be a star of the show for one day.
Yeah.
You get baptized.
It's event.
Yeah.
It's like
no. I'm talking about that
event.
No, I'm talking about just church in general.
Oh well, not any church I've ever been to.
That's just church. That's just if your church jumping, it's jumping every Sunday if it's hot. If it's the hot church, and you
Hmm.
got a lot of people coming there, you're gonna be jumping every Sunday. The music's gonna be on point. It's gonna be like, man, this is like, wow, this is just. But you ain't. I mean, like they ain't talking about half the stuff
Anything.
y'all talk about. So like, I ain't never heard nobody
So you just
ever.
go for the music and hang out with people.
I ain't gonna
No, I mean people in general who go to those kind of churches are just going and they hear music and
They're
they
not really
spend
getting
time with each
educated.
other.
They're
They're not like
congregate.
sweating over the Bible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something to do. It's
Sam, you having a good
Guys,
they do
we were born
they,
into the worst cult ever.
but they but they have
Most
the
boring.
but they have the because a lot of the churches are built around local community because it's usually that church that dictates that piece of that community, like that community that goes to this church. That church itself feels like a community of itself, and of itself. Like sometimes they'll do like a fellowship or the visiting church come over, and it's like you coming over, and like it's like you're visiting like a sister, or they call it sister church or brother church, whichever one they decide at that moment. And, you know, they have their little show and they sing off, and it's really sometimes a show. Look at my choir. Look how good my choir can sing. They do this. It's just you don't really learn about nothing. They ain't talking about nothing.
I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses aren't talking about anything either. They're also
don't
talking
wanna
about
fool ya.
nothing.
Just
But
because they're talking doesn't mean they're saying
They're
anything.
citing
Oh man,
resources
it lacks
when
so
they
much
do it.
substance.
But y'all at least y'all get enough. Look, y'all get at least enough to defend it, even if the information you got is wrong.
Mhm.
That's why they're not giving no information to anybody because there's no copy.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
they have
they're almost
mastered.
too much. They're almost feeding you so much that they make you feel as though you have to defend something, whereas maybe you really wouldn't necessarily.
Because they're the majority Christians. They don't have to adjust themselves that much
I guess so.
because
If you want to see it as something that where it's a competition, but that's like they're doing that to them damn selves.
yeah. So they don't really question much, but they manage. And then you have a good time and you go home, but they don't really teach you nothing historically about what you read. It just make you feel good. And you go home.
I remember some.
I do remember some of the singing.
I have to read this out loud just for anybody who isn't able to read the screen. Dan D says, I remember we had a couple of sisters who thought they were opera singers competing with each other to see who was louder.
So, Tyler, I don't know if you're familiar with the J-Dub culture, but at every meeting we have a song and they sing. Everybody in the congregation sings out of the songbook, and it is usually quite terrible. It's quite,
They're so boring.
It's not a choir. We're not listening to people who practice this. This is Joe Schmo, everybody.
There's like 200 songs,
and
right?
publicly singing in a room of everybody, and it can be quite terrible.
You have to know how to read music to even know.
You're
Like
just
I
hearing
can read music, so I have an
music.
idea of what note we're supposed to hit and for how long, and the
you're
beat.
reading it. I got really good at reading music, you guys. Like I didn't take
Yeah.
music. Tyler knows my my evil villain story of my evil villain backstory has to do with me being a beginning player clarinet. Going into high school where everybody was advanced and I was still had just started the year before. But I was actually like pretty good starting out playing music when I was older because I got good at like reading the music and figuring out where the notes went. And then when I was told, okay, this correlates with this, like I got really good at it. Just not good enough for 9th grade. Anyway.
Couldn't move on.
Became a villain.
Couldn't move on.
But yes, it is awkward AF. So bad. And that is the torture we have to go through, where not only do you have to hear the bad music, but you have to publicly participate in the shame of singing terrible, terrible worship
My
songs.
mom used to sing in church. She would do a solo.
Oh wow.
She can't sing. Don't talk to me.
Mm.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Do not talk to me about it.
I was ready to praise her. Said she can't sing.
And I love my mom.
love your
I was
mom.
like, say about, I said, Mom, please don't do
Oh my
it.
God, she cannot
Please.
sing.
Please don't do it. Me and my sister be like, you do it, man.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
this has all made me realize
Welcome.
that a lot of what people think of as God is just their emotions. And that's probably
really
why
is.
autistic people often don't have a belief in God.
I am very curious about that. I'm very curious about that. I can be
That's all I can think is
Mm.
that it must be emotion is a highly related thing to religious belief, God belief.
Or we
I am
just,
curious if you took like a
we just got
if there's
demons.
a poll
We
out
just
there
got
about it.
demons.
And then music is
We
very
just got
manipulative
demons. Or it's
to
just
people's
demons.
emotions.
It could just be demons. It's just demons, man. Chill
No.
out.
Nope.
Easier. It's just
Nope.
demons.
It's just your emotions being easily manipulated by
It's a
Thanks,
demon.
music.
Jay. At least somebody does.
A demon's in here. See why my lights are red?
Somebody
Demon.
likes my laugh.
Demons.
They
Tyler
be worried
knows a
about.
thing or two about demons.
They be worried about things that
Love
they
you.
be worried about things that I don't even be worried about. I saw somebody talking about, yeah, you know, they're doing witchcraft. Like, who witchcraft? What? They be nothing like I'm
People love to throw that word around, and they truly need to reflect, because half of Christianity is just
not.
casting spells. It's just a different way of doing
I
it, right?
do struggle to see the difference between what a lot of Christianity has as their tradition versus what they say are witchcraft.
My thing is if I believed in if if there was like a choice, yeah, I wish it was. I would. And I'm just, I'm basing off TV. Yeah, I want to like to be like Sabrina Teenage Witch, man. Come on. I want to talk to my cat.
I know. It's so much more fun. It's more
Like,
free. There's so many more things that you can do, things you can talk to, instead of just like with
They keep talking about all this extra stuff, and I'm not seeing none of it. And I want to see some of it. Maybe, well, whatever. Probably be baptized again.
I think the
Ooh,
thing that a lot of
actually.
religion forgets is that you brought up Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and while like a lot of Christians might associate witchcraft with demonism and bad things, also, when I was a child, I was watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, who was like me and not a bad person, and just had the ability to use this power in nice and good and in encouraging ways. And maybe people don't have anything to do with the like. Maybe it's about
No, you're a witch.
Yeah.
witch. Oh, damn it! Ugh.
Right. Because that's what we do.
Turner.
We put labels on people. That's how we're able to eradicate and dehumanize people. You put a label on them, like you take a word that doesn't necessarily inherently have any negative meaning to it. Apostate, put the bad meaning into it, and then what's that? Is it Pavlov's dog? No, what's the one where you train?
The dog that drools when you ring the bell.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like you
that's
just is that what it is, where you just train people to think a certain way when you hear a certain word? It's like triggered.
I mean, that's absolutely a thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Is make
Well,
an
that's what they, you say
association.
apostate, and I immediately I turn off and
Right.
I bristle and I
Revulsion.
turn
Same
around.
with like homosexuality and gay people.
Oh God,
Vomit
turn the TV,
bile in my
turn the
mouth.
channel. Yeah,
Right. That's just a
What?
learned behavior.
What did you say?
A learned behavior.
Oh, okay.
It's a learned behavior. Is that a foreign word? I'm sorry.
Learned.
we're explaining.
I don't
Anyway.
know. I got lost.
Well, we went off track as
We took a little tangent just about how words, because we were tying it into, I forget now. I forget what we tied it into.
Yeah, I don't know
matter.
what we're
That's,
talking about.
that's what a
anymore now.
tangent is. Good
And
job.
it is.
We'll just rewind. It's fine.
Yeah, somebody rewind for us. Tell me what we were talking about. Thanks.
What were we talking about
Appreciate it.
just now?
Just what just happened.
You know, the
Somebody
more you
explain
ask
to
me
like
that,
I'm
my
five.
brain goes blank.
How y'all gonna
What are words?
accept the plan of salvation or what?
What is the plan, though?
You just all you do is this is the closest thing I found to what they had me say was, I know that I'm a sinner and I ask for your forgiveness. I believe you died for me and rose from the dead. I trust as my Lord and Savior and pray that you are God in my life and I help me do to your will. In His holy name, amen. You'll say something along the lines like that. And bam, you're in the mix, man. You ain't gotta believe it.
So your
Yeah.
plan.
Ooh, can
is
we bring
just
up
the
the Ouija
salvation
board comment
plan?
again?
What was it?
Yeah, you say that. You know, sometimes they'll have you
I
sit
want
right.
to try a Ouija board, but
That's
So-
kind of the thing they have you. That's kind of the thing you recite right before they dunk you under the water.
About the
Right.
Ouija board,
But
there's
you're not even saying nothing original. You're just the preacher. The preacher's saying it, and you're saying it behind him. And you just saying what he's saying. And
But that sounds
then,
more like a pledge than a plan.
yeah,
It's
but
like
you
a
know,
pledge, and then I
don't
think
get caught up.
I
Don't get
symbolic.
caught up with the words and what it actually is. You're thinking too much.
But that's part of the problem is they're using words that make it sound like you have a choice in this and you're getting to make the decisions of how you move. But that's not really what they're doing. They're saying it's a plan, and it's not a plan. It's a pledge. You read it. It sounded to me like I promise that I will do whatever you want me to do. My
Yeah,
body.
but hold on.
Don't
But you do that, and you can do this. You can say that as many times as you want. Nobody cares.
Well,
Nobody cares. As many times as you want. You can leave that. You can stay away from church for 3 or 4 years and come right back in.
right.
Nobody won't even
we're gonna start our
question
own
why. You can come right on in and get right back to business.
okay.
in that culture of
I
religion.
just did a little short amount of research because as soon as somebody said Ouija board, I'm like, oh, I know how that works. I just couldn't remember the words for it. So I looked up, and the words I was looking for is the ideomotor effect or ideomotor response. IDEO motor, MOTOR. So Ouija boards work for people's subconscious. There's not really a good way of demonstrating this besides a Ouija board or a pendulum. But another thing that people do is pendulums. They'll think that they're moving them with their mind because just the thought of moving it will make your hands do slight, tiny movements. And this is exacerbated when there's more than one person focusing on the same thing they're trying to move. So the ideomotor response will often give people answers that make sense, such as loved ones' names, because the people that are using the board are subconsciously thinking about those things. One way that you can get around it a little bit is put blindfolds on, and you might think it's spelling out, the Ouija board is spelling out your brother's name.
A double blind
have
child.
somebody else record it, and it will just be going random places on the board.
Yeah, I watched some videos on it because I really wanted to try it, but I was like, now do I really want to try it now that I've seen like the behind the scenes info that I really shouldn't know?
Now that I know there's a high probability that my brain, that I'm just subconsciously moving it
Yeah.
around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna learn things about yourself that you wish you didn't know. If you
My sister is scared of Ouija boards.
Yeah,
Yep,
there's a
that's
lot
because
of
she's scared of
people
her
who are-
subconscious.
or who are afraid of them.
She is terrified. I'm talking about terrified of Ouija boards. I always joke with her. She said, as soon as I had a Ouija board, I have to sell my house.
You know what's funny is in my
And I'm
closet,
just
I found
and I'm
Ouija
just
board
sitting there
kits.
thinking, and I'm sitting there thinking like it don't mean nothing to me. Oh, there's a Ouija board. Okay, we have pictures of strangers on our wall that we just find. We just buy old pictures of people have their old family pictures. We just buy them, put them on a wall,
Interesting.
and we just look at them.
Like the stock photos they stick in wallets?
No, like old family
Old
photos. We
people's
just find old
donated
family.
photos and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, like real families?
yeah. We just
Oh,
put them up
okay.
on our wall, and
Ghosts.
Yeah.
yeah, we just
Hopefully they're watching what you're doing.
we just make up a history with them. Like, yeah, that's Aunt Mildred right there.
I
You know who she is. But
feel like that's kind of awesome because it gives like people a new life.
but if I tell
unknown.
if I tell my sister that, I'm letting them spirits in there.
Right. No, a
And I'm sitting there
JW
thinking,
would
like,
feel the same. A
and
JW would
I'm
feel
sitting there like,
similar.
not even thinking about that. Like, it don't even cross my mind to think like, oh no, is this thing letting spirits in here? Like, no, it's a picture.
It
That's
is
weird.
indeed.
So,
Best sex position.
I don't know how to do. How do you show 69 on your hands? Is there a way to do it?
I think you've made the gesture reasonably enough.
Oh, I remember that.
My brain went there.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it was understandable.
Hey guys, this
is what we're doing next week.
Maybe this is more.
That's next week.
That's next week. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh yeah. No, that's not 69 though. Okay.
Is this your kitty cats?
Mm-hmm.
Kitty,
I like
is
that.
This your drawing glove you were showing me?
Yeah.
That looks cool. I want a kitty cat
That's
glove.
neat. I like that. That's really cool. That's like a new Michael Jackson.
I know.
It is. That's what Michael Jackson wear today.
A kitty cat, a Hello Kitty glove.
Not just one glove. Need half of a glove.
Amen.
Right.
My hand don't stick to the screen.
I get it. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying.
I thought maybe it was like for support or something, but it's just so that way you can glide. Not
For the screen. I thought it was so you don't get like graphite and stuff on your hand. But I forgot that you do lots of stuff on your screen.
Yeah.
I don't do traditional art.
Really?
I don't use physical media. Ew.
I have a couple sketchbooks. I've been planning on getting back into it, but I'd be busy. I don't have time to be sitting around drawing. Not in this economy.
If the digital's keeping you busy, ain't nothing wrong with that.
The cost of paper these days. The cost of writing paper.
This is the most. I got a whole screen.
I keep trying to talk to dead people. I've tried to reach out to dead gods or live gods. I've tried to reach out to dead spirits. I've tried to reach out to evil spirits. I've tried to reach out to any goddamn thing out in this motherfucking world. Come to aliens. None of them. None.
Bastards. They don't deserve you.
From what I hear, they mostly come to you when you sleep.
Is that why I have
you're unconscious
all the time?
Yeah.
Is that why I get wet during my sleep cycle?
There's an alien there.
I haven't had.
I'll
I
take
ain't
it. I
had
don't
not
care.
one. I
Yeah.
haven't had not one religious dream. Like
Good for
none.
you.
No, it don't even show
Yeah,
up.
me
Would you like a cookie?
Oh, my bad.
neither.
No, because I've been tortured by religious dreams.
You know, you
Must
don't.
be nice.
It don't show up at all. Maybe it'll show up tonight.
Just because you said that, possibly.
But my thing is, though, I'm not worried because I'll be like, it's a dream. I'm not gonna wake up and think that dream is gonna mean like I was dreaming, man. Oh wow.
I always laugh at 69. I have to laugh at 69.
Some people wake up and they tell you, "Hey, God just told me when the world's ending," and they expect you to believe it,
Right.
and they looking at you like you crazy that you don't believe that they went to, that in they sleep. They found out that when the world was going to get exploded, and I'm the crazy. Don't you crazy? You don't understand.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But, but they're supported by all the mild level believers. So
That's
I
a lot
can't
of trust to trust
recall.
somebody's dream recollection and somebody else's interpretation or their interpretation thereof.
what they think they dreamed.
100%.
Well, and then when you go, my dreams aren't even remotely like that, or I know for a fact that I can't always remember it perfectly when I wake up, then the answer is, well, but God didn't put it into you. Like God, it's not divine. And so that's why.
So I'm supposed to
There's always an
so-
answer. There's always an
but how am I
excuse.
supposed to trust
Yeah.
that you got it?
Right. Because I said so. Because trust me.
Yeah, bro. Trust me, bro. Cool story, bro. On that note, my friends,
Thanks for
it,
hanging out.
Wrong.
it is getting a little wet in here, a little moist.
I mean,
you
This
will.
That means
better.
we have to go behind the scenes and turn our demon
We're all
eyes
secretly
on.
gonna get baptized.
If by like just submerging myself in a swimming pool counts, then I guess yes, many times.
If you wanted it to, if that's what it symbolized to you, why not? That's all that these
$5. Come to my
doctrines
house.
are.
baptize
Somebody
you.
just said this is what we're doing. If that's what you say you're doing, then so what?
What else? So some people getting wet means doing PCP. That's another way you could look at it.
Well, I mean,
That's
please
not where
don't
my
ever
brain would
smoke
go.
a joint
I
wet.
was
Please don't ever do
really
that.
thinking about it a lot, and I was like, "Oh yeah, training day mentioned getting wet."
Yeah. No, I've never. No, no, okay, I'm not yucking nobody's yum, but please don't do that.
PCP,
All
guys.
right, yeah. All right, y'all. Don't forget your Smurf doll on the way out.
Now you're gonna have to get rebaptized if you touch a Smurf doll.
To exercise those
What?
demons.
I think unbaptism is possible. Mine wore off a long time ago. If you don't get them refreshed, they're just,
Yeah,
you know.
man, that's why I didn't get my first baptism. I never had to
I'm
get
actually
baptized.
surprised that they haven't cashed in on that.
Oh, guys, if capitalism is going to be around, can we do an unbaptism
What do you think?
service? I need a job anyways.
Actually, you know what? People would probably ironically want to like buy that service. No joke.
All right, I'll start thinking about it.
Well, if you've made it this long in the show, take Dan's advice and hit the like button.
Yes, please. Oopsie.
Don't let the like button hit you on the way out.
Yeah,
Oh, if anybody wants to head over to Vern, he is live over there on his channel. But yeah, please hit the like here before you go. If you have another platform that you can share it on, that would be amazing. And come check us out next week. We'll be here at the same time, as per usual, with another topic that is sure to make you wet, moist. Love you guys. Thank you.
Can't wait.
I know you can't wait with that outro. My God. All right, see you guys. Oh, yeah.